Hello, Captain Purple here, and today I've decided to take a break from the series I was doing. It's probably going to be a little bit of a break for these next few weeks here, so until the weather, until Mother Nature calms down. So my day job is it requires outside work, and the past month or so, I've had days off during the week, which I've had to make up for on the weekend. um, Cuts into my time to study my notes that I have for any video. The series, particularly, especially when it comes to some of these words, I find myself relying a lot on my notes. And I was trying to do a video today in the series, and I was reading a lot more than I was not. And I don't have time. I work too much right now. And once it calms down, we're back to regular Monday through Friday. Uh, I will continue the series and then do more about history stuff that I have to study up on. But there's stuff in here though. I have hidden gems. So, anywho, and that being said, I'm gonna do one today on the eye patch. Um, Basically, there was a couple purposes for the eye patch. There was a vanity reason, which pirates were people, and much like people, people are people are appearance is everything. So yeah, and it's not no different than like some of the fashion we have now. Women's fashion, for example, a lot of women's fashion started as men. High heels, for example, were they may not be the stilettos and it's really the only women's shoe I really know offhand. Um, I'd make a horrible cross dresser. I would. And no, I mean the beard would. I mean, especially. I mean, not even the fact I don't know the clothes. It's just I mean, come on, honestly. I mean, well, there's a bearded lady. Anywho, so Sir Francis Drake was height was a thing back then too. Getting into high heels. Sir Francis Drake, Napoleon wore high heels. Both these two men were very short in stature, even for back then. Sir Francis Drake was all known, said to be barefoot, like 4.5 foot, 4 foot 11, and even back then that was short. So Napoleon was a very short man individual as well, 4 foot. Um, he gave the with the term Napoleon complex, described for small guys, right? Small guys who get picked on, and back then was no different either. You got picked on for being short, and tend to develop a temper and so on and so forth. That can go along with Napoleon complex. So this is basically describing a little man that's got to prove he's a big man, and to not get ridiculed, these individuals would wear something to make them look taller. Again, going back to both Sir Francis Drake and Napoleon wore high heels. Now that ties into the eye patch. The eye patch, yes, was used for a loss of an eye because your face has always been the first thing people notice, and having a gaping hole was kind of disturbing. People would stare, so on and so forth. So there were a few options. You lost an eye in combat or something like that. I'm not talking about going blind to one. Losing the eye completely. There was a back then there was not the technology we have today. There was not a glass eye option, but there were fake eye options. I think the only option you really had back then was wood, which very few individuals did use that. It was uncomfortable, splintering. It was I don't know how comfortable a fake eye is in general. I Both these are real. I can see out of them. They're both my real eyes, so I don't have a fake eye. But I can only imagine it was uncomfortable. More so with the wood because of the fact it's splintering and moisture builds up and wood with water and pulpy type. It's just another option was not have a fake eye and have an eye patch. Well, that was one reason for it. Another reason was for going was there was okay, so in combat or on a ship you had individuals, especially on a pirate ship, for example, you had individuals that, especially in that would stay below deck quite often. And unlike the movies where it's all lit up and you can see them, depending on the movies, Hollywood. Okay, for example, Black Sails. There's a episode where Captain Flint and Long John Silver are trying to sneak aboard. I think it was the Walrus, and reclaim their ship back. It's been a while since I've seen it. They were trying to sneak aboard, and they were trying to do it quietly and take over. So you're going through deck, and you can see in the scene, you can see all the beds, and you can see any of the support beams. You can see structures, and it just wasn't that way. There were individuals, like I said, below deck. There was very low, poor lighting, if any at all. What little lighting you had was, a few candles or light that came in from the port door. If there is, when you open the port door to fire the cannon. So, I don't know, just like, if you are in the dark a while, your eyes adjust. Well, you flip on a light switch all of a sudden and it hurts. You're getting that, your pupils dilate and retract, all this stuff. So, the individuals that were below deck, more often than the others, were pretty much the below deck people, and their eyes were adjusted to the darkness. Well, another thing about upper, below, and above deck was it was hard to relay. It was hard to relay. See, on a ship, on a pirate ship, especially in battle, the helmsman, pilot, whatever you want to call him, the captain would relay an order, and he may be on the bow or the poop deck, or maybe somewhere, whatever. He would relay an order, and that would get relayed like the game of telephone a lot. He would relay an order, and it was really hard to hear back. It was, from one end to the other. So he would relay an order, and then another crew would shout that order out, and another crew would shout that order out, and chain all the way to where it had to be. So, yeah, if the captain wasn't by the pilot, and I like that term, and wanted to had stern or port side, he would shout that out, and that would get relayed down. Now in battle or so on and so forth, the relay messages below deck, it was the same way. Well, you had one guy that would go back and forth between the two. Hear the command, go below deck, give the command, and amongst other things. Well, because it was quite dark down there and quite light up there, he would wear an eye patch over one eye. He would wear the eye patch over, say, like the right eye for the majority of the time. When he went below deck to relay an order or check on something, he would get so far down the stairs and he would flip the eye patch over. So what this did was, the eye that was already adjusted to the dark, he would be able to see, because much like the light would hurt you and you couldn't see, readjusting the light, same thing. People know this. When you're going from light to pitch black or really dark, it's hard to see. You have to adjust. So he'd flip it over. He'd be able to see below deck because his eye would be adjusted to the dark. And then he would, when he had to come back above deck, he'd flip it over so he wouldn't get so that it wouldn't be in pain. So that's pretty much the use of the eye patch that I know of. So yeah, again, this is kind of a video just to run them just on the fly. I didn't have this prepared. I was gonna do a video. I actually did a few where I was trying to do the next video in the series, and I kept stumbling, stammering, stuttering more than I am in this video. So this was kind of unprepared, spur of the moment. Once things calm down in my day job, I will get back to be doing more, series and whatever, whatnot. Um, yeah, and I hopefully the next video will be more prepared for a backup video in case like I don't get to doing one on that series this weekend. So that being said, I appreciate. Thank you for watching. If you please like, comment, share, um, subscribe, and yeah. So like you said, if you have any comments, put them in. Feel free to put them in. Share it, like it, subscribe if you already haven't. And thank you all for watching, and God bless.